Unhealthy eating habits have contributed to a lot of health problems epidemic today. Health problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, arthritis, cancer, health disease, and so on. The good news is, if you can control what goes into your mouth and your body, you will live your best. For what you put into your mouth determines how well or sick you live. You and I know that poor diet is associated with major health risks that causes illness and even death. So, by making smart food choices today can help you protect yourself from all these health problems. Our integrative nutrition health specialist, Miss Betty Olainka, radicals that cause cancer and other diseases. Join us on this program every Sunday, 1:30 p.m. US time, 7:30 p.m. African time, and 6:30 p.m. United Kingdom time, where she educates on health and nutrition, as well as features professionals from various fields to sensitize you on wellness. See you there.
Wow. Hello, everybody. Hello, viewers. I can see your face. Every faces on this program today are so beautiful. Trust me, I love you all. Good day, viewers, and thanks for streaming with us today on Healthy Living with Bofa. I'm Betsy Olayinka Folari Akinlosotu, aka Bofa, bringing to you live information on health and wellness. When you hear wellness, what comes to your mind? Do you think it is only about absence of illness or healthy food? Of course, it is. It is about these, but trust me, wellness is more than that. Wellness is about living well in all areas of life. And one of these dimensions of wellness is healthy relationship, happy home. Today's discussion on interview segment is very sensitive, emotional, and very romantic. It is about relationship, sex education, sexual challenges, and sexual abuse. With our guest today, Mrs. Chinyere Adeyemo, on the program today. She's an amazing family builder, an author who had written many books and still writing this book on family, sex education, and so on. Everything she does, it's about relationship, about family. In few minutes, I guess we join us. Are you ready? I know you're ready. I'm ready too. I'm so excited to learn from this beautiful, amazing woman. Before I bring our guests on the show today, right now, it's our Earth Corner. And I want us to pay more attention to this. Because a lot of people, I realize that this is one of the health problems we face or we battle today. Because whatever we eat goes right down into our stomach. And if you are not eating well, whatever you eat damage your system. And that is why you see a lot of people complaining of ulcerative colitis. So today we're going to be learning on Health Corner. What ulcerative it's all about. If you are suffering from this health problems, I will encourage you to pay more attention to this so that you can learn how to prevent it or how to avoid it. It is very important. So right now is our health corner. We will be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Living Healthy with Bofa channel. Last week, we discussed gut microbia. Now, this week's topic is ulcerative colitis. Now, let's jump right into it. What is ulcerative colitis? It is a chronic inflammatory bowel disease that causes inflammation in the digestive tract. Ulcerative colitis is usually only in the innermost lining of the large intestine, also known as the colon and rectum. It forms a range from mild to severe. Having ulcerative colitis puts patients at risk of developing colon cancer. Causes of ulcerative colitis. The exact cause of ulcerative colitis remains unknown. Previously, diet and stress were suspected, but now doctors know that these factors may aggravate but don't cause ulcerative colitis. Only possible cause is the immune system malfunction. This happens when your immune system makes a mistake. Normally, it tracks the invaders in your body, like the common cold. But when you have UC, your immune system thinks food, good gut bacteria, and the cells that line your colon are intruders. Symptoms include rectal bleeding, bloody diarrhea, abdominal cramps, and pain. The most common pain areas are in the abdomen, joints, or rectum. The types of pain that you can experience is interment in the abdomen. Now, gastrointestinal, you usually experience bloating, blood in the stool, constipation, diarrhea, inability to empty bowels, leaking of the stool, or urgent need to defecate. Now, whole body symptoms can be anemia, fatigue, fever, or loss of appetite. Also, a common symptom is cramping, weight loss, or scarring within the bile ducts. Now, treatments. The best treatment is 5-ASAs, which are medicines that help people reduce inflammation. This in turn allows damaged tissue to heal. They're usually the first treatment option for mild or moderate ulcerative colitis. 5-ASAs can be used as a short-term treatment for flare-ups. Other treatments may be supportive care, surgery, medication, and medical procedure. Now, let's jump into our key takeaways. Number 1, please note the following. Ulcerative colitis is inflammation in the digestive tract and found only in the innermost lining of large intestines, colon and rectum. Number 2, ulcerative colitis increases the risk of developing colon cancer. Number 3, the exact cause of ulcerative colitis is unknown. However, the research suggests that diet and stress may aggravate but don't cause ulcerative colitis. But any immune system malfunction is possible cause. Number 4, alternative treatment for ulcerative colitis could be home remedies that you see in the photos to the right. Lastly, the bottom line is watch what you eat and make sure your diet contains nutrients that fight all these bad bacteria, the radicals in your body system. That is all I have for you this week. Remember, I love you, God love you, and love yourself. See you next.
Wow, welcome back to interview with experts. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Our guest today, like I said earlier before we go for our X corner, is Mrs. Chinyere Adeyemo. She will be educating us on relationship, sex education, sexual challenges, and sexual abuse. My goodness, I don't know how I'm feeling like it should be purging it out right now. Okay, before I bring her in, I want you to understand this. Anything you feel passionate about that sustains your life and as a result has the potential to impact your health is probably a primary food for you because it comes first before that food on your table. Holistically, healthy relationship and other circle of life, including education, fulfilling career, spiritual practice, emotion, love and happiness, finances, regular physical activity, health, environment, and all, everything included, are integrated into nutritional world. Why? Because they are foods which give us joy, fulfillment. Like I said, all these, they fill our souls and satisfy our hungers for life. And that is why they are classified as primary foods. They come first before anything we put on our table. Today, we will be focusing on family, relationship, not just relationship, but healthy relationship. For this reason, I'm happy and honored to introduce to you our guest, Mrs. Chinyere Adeyemo. Mrs. Chinyere Adeyemo obtained a Bachelor of Arts from University of Nsukka, Nigeria, and Masters in Education from Federal University of Technology, Yola. She also attended the Southwest Entrepreneurship Development Center, Samonda, Ibadan. She is a certified teens and parenting coach. Mrs. Chinyere is a member of the Child Protection Network of Nigeria. Is a we stop. So right now, it's nutrition segment and it's tagged "You are what you eat." Of course, we are what we eat. Today, it's about ulcerative colitis. On the nutrition segment, we will be discussing about natural home remedies to treat this problem. Before then, let us recap what we learned from Health Corner on ulcerative colitis. We must first understand that ulcerative colitis is an inflammation in the colon. It is a condition where inflammation and ulceration of the colon and rectum is observed. And that ulcer you all feel or suffer or battle with sometimes is a perforation or a hole in the lining of the small intestine. And remember, the exact cause of this ulcerative colitis is still unknown to everybody. Not even a single physician can tell us the causes. We are just guessing. However, here are some few associated causes, things that we can just randomly think of that can be the cause of this. Number one is stress. If you're going through stress, you may have ulcerative colitis. It could also be a family history. To many people, maybe they have this problem in your family, you will definitely have it based on the gene. Another thing I want to mention is poor immune system. And this is what we emphasize mostly on this program. Our immune system must be strong, must be healthy. We don't expect compromised immune system. No, we can't allow that because it's dangerous to our health. So when you suffer for poor immune system, you may likely have ulcerative colitis. And the last one, which I'm going to mention, and which will lead us to the natural remedy for it, is food habits. Many people don't eat at all. It may be because of financial problem or because we are so busy to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some eat once a day, some twice a day, some don't even eat at all. So the food habits could probably be the cause for this ulcerative colitis. I want you to know that health problem, which is ulcerative colitis, I'm trying to bring in our guests, can increase the risk of developing colon cancer. Yes, seriously, it can cause colon cancer. So at this time, I'm going to stop. Then when we come back, then we continue from our nutrition, discussion. Let's jump right back to our interview with experts. We have our guests on the program today, Mrs. Chinyere. Oh, she's here. Hello, Mrs. Chinyere. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. And I'm sorry about everything that is happening. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm so excited to see you. It's a pleasure having you back. And I know it's not easy. There's nothing we can do to that. And don't worry, our viewers understand this and they can't complain. So right now, I want us to just go straight to the point. I'm trying to see, okay, right now, let's go straight to the point because of our time and this internet, interference. Now, Mrs. Chinyere, I want you to tell us who exactly Ms. Chinyere, the family builder, is. What is your profession all about? Tell us today and let us meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am Chinyere Adeyemo, and I am a family builder. I am concerned about equipping families with information to ensure they build great families, knowing that the family is the smallest unit in the society. And if we get it wrong in the family, we've likely got it wrong in the society. So it is my duty as a family builder. And what I actually do as a family builder, it touches areas concerning parenting, touches areas concerning young people who are preparing to get married, then parenting, then marriage, then child abuse, child sexual abuse in parenting, and of course, marital issues.
Wow. 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 Excellent.
The whole essence is to ensure we have a protocol.
So we're good to go. If we are talking about sex, we're talking about relationship, about education, and sex. Okay, now there's something I read about your program, and it's called 21st Century Strategies for Parents. What is it all about? Tell us in few minutes. Few seconds. Just tell us.
Well, 21st Century Strategies for Parents is about knowing that the strategies we will use to parent our children today will be different from what was used 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Why? Because the society has evolved, and because the category of children we have now in today's society, they need to be handled with more knowledge than our parents handled us. So 21st century parenting simply means that the parents will be more involved in the life of the child. It will not just be that you're dishing out instructions to the child, child-centered. You're giving the child an avenue to express himself. Now, 21st century strategy of parenting, let me say too, is you have, or the child you imagine you have, the uniqueness of the child, understanding the child's temperament, understanding the child's love language, understanding the child as a total package and parenting that child in the uniqueness. It is understanding that parenting is involvement in the life of a child. It will cost you time. It will cost you resources. It will drain you. It will drain you. So it is understanding these things, because you know the 20th century, 19th century parenting strategy, I mean, could have been one that the parents did not have this knowledge deep enough to understand how to parent the child. But the 21st strategy one. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I heard you. Now, I had something on when you were, giving us the information on 21st century. I heard about sex education. Based on that, I want to say something that, and it's going to lead us to the next question. We have some busy parents who their daily schedule are so busy. They have no time to educate, to lecture, or to advise their children on sex education, because I'm so much concerned on that. And this has caused many early marriages in our community today. Some ended with unwanted pregnancy, which led to abortion, and later damaged their wombs and became health issues today in their marriages. Now, I have 2-in-1 questions for you, and just ask the question. You can answer the questions together. Should the parent leave the sex education? I mean, the parent who are so busy. Should we leave the sex education for the teachers to handle in school, or parents must still get involved in educating their children on sex education? One, if yes, parents must get involved. At what age should we start educating our children on sex education? At least if we don't enlighten them on other sex-related issues, we must educate them on STD, sexual transmitted disease. So I want you to answer these 2 questions. At what age? And should the parents, leave the sex education to the teacher to handle, or we must get involved in it? These are the 2 questions I want you to answer.
Parents should get involved. As a matter of fact, you said something before you asked the questions. You said busy parents. I want to say that no matter how busy a parent is, a parent can be intentional in being involved in the life of the child. I mean, there is a way you'll be even very busy, and then you will still create
time.
Everything that we are. I think I am hearing because no matter how busy we are, our heart, and that is how parenting said, must be intentional in creating. That makes it look like giving sex education is something like a lecture. First, it is a lifelong education. It doesn't have to be terrifying when we give it. So that means that mommy and the daughter or the son can actually be in the car driving, and they see a billboard, and that could be the basis for sex education. That's so right. It doesn't necessarily have to be the theoretical.
Yes, it doesn't have to be
textbook type. Now, a convert can say, I don't like somebody in my class. I don't like somebody in my class. And that could be a basis for the beginning of sex education. Parents should be the first. Remember, I said it's lifelong. It has to be continuous, because from the moment the child is a baby, we begin to talk about these things right into when the child becomes a preschooler, the child, a toddler, a preschooler, becomes a preteen, becomes a teenager, and even is ready to get married. If you ask me, the parent should be the first to teach the child even about sexual intimacy before the child gets married. So it's a lifelong thing.
Wow. Now, we heard about it now that must involve the 2 parents, right?
Now back to your second, should not leave it for the school, because the child is more used to.
Yes, that's correct. I agree with you. Because what if the child didn't even go to school? Because we have a lot of female children and male children that have no opportunity to go to school. So how do we do? don't go to school, we're not going to teach them the right thing when it comes to, sex and stuff like that. We're still going to do it. Now, the question is, among these two parents, and father and mother, who should take this responsibility of sex education? Is it father or mother? Our men these days, they want to leave everything for women to handle. Oh, it's your child. Oh, it's your children. Take care of that. Take care of them. The good children are known to be for the father, and the bad one always for the mothers. So if we don't do it, the bad one will definitely be ours. And the good one that we do perfectly is still going to them. So who do you think is the best? Among these two, who should take this responsibility?
Well, it's not even about who I think. The proper thing is if both the man and the woman made the child, then they are both opportunity to appeal to our men who are listening to us. As much as it is not something we are very comfortable with, I want to plead with you as a man, as a father, that you should get involved in educating your child too.
That's correct. Father,
because you'll be making the work a lot easier. For instance, let's look at a preteen child, a preteen female child or a teenager. When they begin to have crushes and the hormones begin to work, it will be easier for the father to talk to the daughter about these things, because it is the father who deals with the opposite sex. The mommy the mommy is the receiver of the attention. But when it comes to reception of attention from the opposite sex, it is usually better when
the father gets involved.
Daddies get involved. And let me say too that great fathers.
Great father, please prepare to listen to this. She's about to tell you something. If you are a great father, you must listen to what she's going to say. I think she's saying it, but the network is really, really bad. Please. Oh, Lord. This is a very good discussion, and I want us to please take note of this. Let's do it. It's because of our children. If we are not doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for these children. It's very important.
No father will want the child to be.
You see, we just lost our guest. So please, like I said, we want to get involved in educating our children. She's back. She is back. Let's see if we can get her. We want to get involved in educating our children, see our children growing, making the right choice. This is the best thing for us to do. These kids know nothing. They don't know what to do. They don't know left to the right. So it is better we get involved and give them the best we could. We were closer to them than the teacher in school. Trust me, we are the best teachers for our children. And the earlier we do this, the better. So that they don't make any mistakes some of us made in the past. It is very important. Ms. Chinyere, are you back on?
Yes, I am.
Thank you so much. All this we have been talking about, if we are able to do this, to educate our children, I think this sex education will probably reduce or eradicate sexual abuse. And this includes raping in our community. Yes, it will. Because in one of your book titled Exposed, What Sexual Abuser Hide from Parent, sounds like it. It sounds, I've never read it, but looking like reading the title, I think the information on sex education will take us to raping in our community, if I'm not wrong. I know something like that must be mentioned in that book. I've never read it, but looking at the title, I think it will. Do you have the book with you? Mrs. Chinyere, it's an author. She's written a lot of books on relationships, especially sex education. I'm going to read quickly all the books that she has written so far. And I want us to please get a copy for your children. It's very important. And our children must read. Let them learn to read now. It is very, very important. She has written sex education. She has written Not My Child. I'm giving you the title of the books that she has written in the past. She has written Which Touch is Dance, and it's a sex education guide for our children. Please, you can get a copy. Parenting Rivals. Let me use Nigerian, accent. So Parenting Rival. Get a copy. And the one that I really focus on, which is also related to what we're discussing today, is Exposed. And it says, what sexual abusers hide from parents. So please get a copy of this. She is showing us right now. You see, that's the book. I'm going to get a copy and I'll make sure I read and also bring more information to you on this program. And also, she also has sex is a big deal in marriage. We're going there shortly. Get ready. If you are on the program, you are having sexual challenges, we're going to be there shortly. So get this copy of this book. Sex, it's a big deal in marriage. Yes, I agree with that. It is a big deal. In some marriages, it is a big deal. We're going there shortly. And the last one I have here is my underwear rule. My underwear rule. And also, I think that we talked to both of us, both the adults and the young ones. I think that's what the book is all about. So right now, I think it's time we go straight to the D-Day. The reason why, one of the reasons why my beautiful author, Marriage Builder, it's on the program. And I'm sure you're all waiting to get information on this because we are all suffering underneath, right there in our closets. We are all suffering. Some are sex starved. Some are sex denied. Some don't even enjoy it. Trust me, we're going to be discussing it now. Ms. Chinyere, when primary food is balanced, I'm saying this and I'm saying to all the viewers, when our primary food is balanced and satiated, our lives feed us and make what we actually eat secondary. Now, the question is this: what will you say is the life wire of relationship? Let's start from there.
The life wire of any relationship is communication. Communication. The moment communication is effective in any relationship, then the relationship will grow. No relationship ought to be stagnant. So if there is a distortion in communication or the communication is ineffective, then there will be challenges in that relationship. So of course, based on, in line with what you're saying, sex too is a form of communication. There is sexual communication. There is sexual communication. So once there is a misunderstanding of sexual communication, our relationships will be affected.
Wow. So you just told us that communication is the life wire of relationships. That's the tide that brings together, that joins together two people, opposite sex, our husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend, whatever, fiancé and fiancé, everybody. That's what brings them together. Now,
yes,
I agree with you, because to me, no man will tell me you love me, you cherish me, you care for me, and you can't even call me, or you can't have sex with me, and you're complaining every time, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. What is that for? So definitely that man is not for me. And I believe everybody agree with that. And that's the sweetest things in a marriage, in any relationship, communication. We must know each other. We must be acquainted with one another through communication, and also feeling each other, feeling ourselves, touching, having feeling of ourselves. It's very important. I agree with you. In fact, I want to tell you this, and it's going to be like a question to me. You mentioned communication. Should communication be something anyone in a relationship should fight over before it becomes effective or active in a relationship? If yes, we must, and which I think is not going to be yes, it can be something that we must be fighting for. It should be something everybody enjoy, and we all invest in the relationship for that. So now, in one of your book titles, Sex is a Big Deal in a Marriage, lots of women and men out there experiences sexual challenges, especially the sex-starved one. Some men and women complain, bitterly, on sex, and they are either being denied or, not even enjoying it at all. I want you to tell us something about this. What will you say is the cause? Two in one question I've answered. One question I've already answered. Asked you. The second one is, what will you say is the cause or the reason for that? Because communication could be the reason anyway. If communication is disabled in a marriage, in a relationship, it can affect sex in a relationship. So what will you say is the cause or reason for that? And I believe this is not just something that we want to take for granted today. I want you to tell us what will be the cause if we have problem in sex.
All right, thank you. The first cause is ignorance. Ignorance. Then mindsets, our mindset and our attitudes. Every man is a product of his background. So if we have a husband or a wife who is not open to knowledge, you realize that it will affect their mindset and it will affect the relationship. So, and such a person, we say, is ignorant, either the husband or the wife. So one major thing that affects sexual relationships is ignorance. And then the mindsets. For some, it's the cultural mindsets. The cultural mindsets. They believe a woman, for instance, who has high libido and demands sex from the husband, in our own climb here, they will say she's wayward. They will say, why is she not always satisfied? So these are issues of mindset. Then we also realize that the things that also affect sexual communication is the environment of the family, the conduciveness. Once there are pending issues that have not been addressed, for instance, a man who is not tender, a man who does not give the woman attention, he may not get as much attention from the woman when he demands sex. And maybe I should just drop it here, that for the man, the primary need, it's a universal need for men. I hope our women are taking this into consideration, that the primary need for every man, for every male, is sex. Is sex. Now, for the primary need for every female, which I will appreciate if our men understand, is attention and affection. So correct. If your wife does not feel you give her attention, and you see, attention is interpreted differently. And that is why you need to understand the uniqueness of your spouse. That is where communication comes in. It's not a generalized thing where you say, men, that's how all men are. That's how all women are. No. After you have gone over that, you now come and narrow it to your own wife or your own husband, the unique woman or man you have with you, living with you. How do they interpret affection? How do they interpret attention? when your husband says he needs sex,
Mm-hmm.
there are conditions that make it conducive. Maybe I should also add too that sex should not begin when the zippers are down or when the man has an erection. The whole environment of the home should be something that will make sex natural.
That's
So
correct.
if you have a nagging woman, for instance, or a nagging man, a husband who is always critical, he doesn't appreciate the woman's effort, he doesn't appreciate her, he doesn't do those things that will make her feel she is loved. There may be already there is a problem with communication. So sometimes you have some of these women, in quotes, they want to withhold sex, perhaps to call the man's attention, or maybe to even punish the man. I am not saying that is right, but these are the real life situations we find, that when the atmosphere in the home is not good, is not conducive, it affects our sexual lives. And then we must also appreciate each other's preferences. For some, it could be that the woman was abused when she was young,
Mm-hmm.
and she did not heal completely. You know, those things, when you don't sort them out, they affect responses to sexual intimacy in marriage. Because if she has not healed completely, she will likely keep recalling that incident of abuse. Like I said earlier about mindset, depending on what she was also told, there are some.
Wow. The information we are getting today, it's very, it's something that I don't want you to take for granted. It is very, very important because we are suffering. A lot of marriages are suffering from this, what we call sex. And you see,
People who believe sex is dirty now have to help them abstain before marriage. But you should get rid of such notions.
Wow, it is really emotional. I know that a lot of people watching us today, they want to see, they want to learn today, and they want to see changes in their marriages. They want to see their husband change them, and also men want to see their women change in attitude, in communication. If you have been having problem with your communication, I'm not saying you should be calling your wife 24 hours. At least keep your communication line active. There are a lot of ways we can communicate with ourselves, with one another. If you don't live, I understand that some men, some husbands, they live far away from their wives. It's understandable. But in this time of advanced technology, we have many ways. In fact, I'll tell you this. If you want to have sex with your wife remotely, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I know some people will say, what is she talking about? I'm talking things that you need to know, things you don't know. As long as it is your husband, it's your wife, you can do it, and you are far away, you are separated, you live far away from one another, you can do it. Because if you don't do it, somebody is going to help you do it, trust me. Because women, we are very sensitive, and when this thing is asking for it, it will come to a time that we bear it, and next time we won't be able to bear it. And if you love your wife, you love your husband, you want to keep your husband. And one of the life wire we discussed is communication, and sex can also be a means of communication to your partner. Mrs. Chinyere, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the program today to bless us, to educate us on healthy relationship, because what you just did is make our relationship healthy. The relationship that have been disabled, looking so unhealthy. today, I believe some people will learn. If not everybody, at least one person will learn. I learned so much from you. And I believe our viewers also will learn. And I want to quickly read to you what our viewers are sending to you on this program before we go. And have Mrs. Omoigbirai, Emily Omoigbirai from the US, New York. She's our mother, she's our sister, she's my friend, my beloved sister. She's saying, happy Sunday to you. And I have Mr. Ayodele Hassan. She said, thank you for this orientation. Well done, ma. Mr. Ayodele Idowu also said, great work. My friend, my brother, Mr. T, Mr. Tolulokwe Ayorinde said, thank you so much for coming on. Abidemi Ade, he said, this is interesting topic. Thanks to the coordinator, Bofa, and the guest. God bless you. Our father, Professor Engineer Sabit Alrio Olagoke JP, saying, good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining us. Our brother also, UTech Entertainment, a very insightful presentation. Thank you. And that is Rahim Olatunji right there. And Rahim Olatunji is the one that connects us to our beautiful sister today on the program. We want to say thank you so much to Mr. Rahim Olatunji Yusuf, UTech Entertainment. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for letting us connect to Mrs. Chinyere. And also have Mrs. Fola Shade Ajoke, my friend. Thank you so much. She said, great job, Mrs. Chinyere. And on like that. And GL, that's my son, saying, ready for a wonderful program today. So thank you for coming. So I want to say thank you. God bless you, Mrs. Chinyere, for coming again. I appreciate you for joining us today on this esteemed initiative. It's been a pleasure having you today. God bless you. And say hello to everybody. And next time, I'll see you by God's grace. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Wow. My people. Okay, we still have a little bit, 5 minutes to round up. So right now I believe we all learned from what we discussed. I know it's a very short time. We're going to have more than that. We're going to extend our time on the program shortly. That is when we, put things together to have more, because this program today, especially the topic we are treating today, is a very sensitive, emotional, and I think a lot of people learn from it. Now let's continue from our nutrition segment. In a few minutes, we will be done. The last thing I said was ulcerative colitis, which can increase the risk of developing colon cancer. Now let's jump right into natural remedies. What we must do before medication or surgery is recommended. Now, if you notice the symptoms, these are what you must do or you should do. I'm not saying you must, because many people, they don't believe in what you say. And if it's coming out from the professionals, the experts, I believe you should jump right into it, because a lot of us suffer for this ailment, this ulcer. I've treated it so many times. So you must listen to this. First thing you want to do if you have the symptom is you want to avoid spicy food. You want to avoid caffeine, and you get that caffeine from coffee, from tea. You want to look for decaffeinated one. The coffee, the tea, the beverages that have no caffeine, you want to go for that. And lastly, on avoiding things, you want to avoid alcohol. It is very important you don't drink. I am not saying you must not drink, you don't need alcohol. Your body system needs alcohol, and that is wine, red wine, we need it. It's not the beer, not the ogogoro that you drink, you Nigerians. I know a lot of people cannot do without ogogoro. Please If you are suffering from ulcerative colitis, you want to stay away from alcohol. And next one you want to do, you want to limit your dairy food. Food like milk, you don't want to drink that. Again, you want to eat frequently more food that digests more efficiently, food that is rich in fiber, that can make you go to the bathroom on time and release all the food that you have eaten. If you don't do this, the food will sit down there in your stomach and it will be hurting that holes that have already been wounded in your intestine, in your colon. So you want to make sure you eat frequently more food that digests more efficiently. Also, you want to eat fish high in omega-3. And what do you get from this omega-3? You get fatty acid. The best healthy fat is what you get from what I call fish. You get it from the fish. Trust me, you get it from the fish. And that is fatty acid. Now, you want to restrict fiber. And this is just for people with IBD. And what is IBD? Inflammatory bowel disease, such as ulcer. So you want to avoid any food that gives you no fiber. So please, and this could be banana and melon, canned and well-cooked fruits without skins or seed, juice without pulp, peeled cucumbers, real leafy lettuce, yellow peppers, white mushrooms, canned asparagus and tomatoes, cooked green beans, and cooked potato without skin. These are low-fiber food options. Please. So, if you suffer ulcer, all this food enters your stomach. Any food, and the food that I just mentioned, if they enter your stomach, you should be of a delicate and grated texture. They all must be grated and delicate one in your stomach, which they will minimally affect the stomach walls. So please. This food I'm going to mention includes the food that you can eat, which is porridge, mashed soups, diluted broths, milk soup, yogurt, and more. Most importantly, the food must be digestible. You must eat the food that contains more fiber so that you can move your bowel. That is it. So the bottom line is watch what you eat and make sure you eat diet that contains nutrients that prevent and fight all these radicals in your body system. That is all we can give on Wellness Today. I wish you all good health. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us and staying with us on Healthy Living with BOFA. God bless you all. I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all my new friends that I met both on social media and one-on-one recently. They joined us today. I can't be mentioned names. One of them is Folashade Ajoke. She's my friend. She's joining us for the first time. And I have a couple of people that I won't mention because of our time. I want to say thank you so much for doing this for me, for loving me, for supporting me. God bless you all. I want to say until next week we meet. Stay blessed. Remember, this thing we call COVID is still on. So you want to make sure you are on it. I'll see you next week, glowing, looking beautiful like myself. Be well and healthy. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.